Should you take ginger before tripping? I'm Aaron.
And I'm Reed with Trip Time Essentials.
Before we get going, I want to emphasize that this is separate from my role as a licensed psilocybin facilitator.
And this is separate from my role in naturopathic medicine. To clarify, we never recommend the use of illegal substances.
Now let's hop right into the ginger analysis. Ginger has been used for thousands of years traditionally for alleviating stomach complaints and is one of the most well-known natural remedies for nausea.
A high-potency ginger extract is one of the main ingredients in our pre-trip capsules seen right here. The primary active compounds within ginger root, Gingerols officinale, are the gingerols and shogaols.
These compounds have many effects, but are most known to block the 5-HT3 receptors, also known as the serotonin 3 receptors.
When activated, these receptors are known to cause nausea, and this is one of the pathways by which psychedelics are known to cause nausea. Gingerols and shogaols in ginger act by gently blocking these 5-HT3 serotonin receptors, helping to soothe the stomach. The compounds also have shown potential to bolster cognitive health, mood, and memory.
The use of our high-potency ginger extract standardized to 20% gingerols and shogaols far exceeds what can be found in the generic ginger capsules. And this is actually something that we will talk a little bit about how much that is, but a little sneak preview, that's about 25 times more potent than the average ginger powder.
Yeah. Let's discuss the nausea research for ginger. So a 2015 literature review on ginger for nausea from various causes noted a strong trend towards improvement in nausea and vomiting across a bunch of different populations. So these populations...
Yeah, they included pregnancy-related nausea, chemotherapy-related nausea, hospital operation-related nausea, and immunotherapy-related nausea.
Yeah, and in one of the pregnancy-related studies covered by this review, they actually found an improvement of combined nausea and vomiting in pregnant women by 49%. So
Wow.
49% improvement in that population specifically. The literature didn't go into details on the effect size from these other populations, but this was the one they highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah,
just for one ingredient.
It's huge.
It's huge. And this is just with the ginger root, too. These studies are not being done with the ginger extract.
Which is what we use in our pre-trip product.
Exactly.
Also continuing on some of the research here, a 2022 meta-analysis pulls data from 5 different studies in pregnant women to compare ginger and vitamin B6 in their ability to decrease nausea and vomiting.
So first in this study, the effectiveness of ginger itself was noted, and then the authors compared ginger to vitamin B6.
They found a trend for ginger being slightly more powerful than vitamin B6, both with the ingredients being more effective than placebo treatments.
Yeah, and vitamin B6 is another ingredient contained within our capsules, our pre-trip capsules. So, using both together, even though ginger is a bit stronger, vitamin B6 is also still strong when they compare it to placebo.
And we'll do a deep dive on vitamin B6 and why we put in a certain amount that we did and some research around it too.
Let's now explore ginger's mechanisms for supporting stomach comfort. So exactly what it's doing to provide these benefits.
Yeah, mechanism of action specifically. In a 2018 study titled Natural Negative Allosteric Modulators of 5-HT3 Receptors, multiple different compounds within ginger were determined to block the 5-HT3 receptors, which is a mechanism of action shared by some of the most common nausea-reducing medications. We're talking pharmaceutical medications here. The cetron class of medications, ondansetron, tropisetron, and others are all playing on this same blocking the 5-HT3 receptor.
Yeah, so it's pretty profound. These authors are able to find this activity from a bunch of different components within the ginger. These compounds include 6-gingerol, 8-gingerol, 10-gingerol, 6-shogaol, and zingerone. So all of these gingerols and shogaols, these are what our extract is standardized for in pre-trip. So we're really trying to go after what are the compounds in ginger that are giving us the anti-nausea. They're blocking the 5-HT3 receptors. And so that's why we standardize our extract to this strong percentage.
And standardized extracts are really what you should look for anytime you're trying to purchase an extract, because some companies will just throw out, oh, this is an extract. But if it's not standardized to anything, they can really use that terminology for whatever they want.
Exactly.
And potency-wise, again, you really want some sort of certificate analysis that you can analyze and look at. Continuing to talk about this nausea mechanism, non-extracted dried ginger root powder, which is a form in human studies thus far, contains an average of only 0.8% gingerols and shogaols, according to a study examining a variety of sources of dried ginger root.
Yeah, so our ginger extract at 20% gingerols, shogaols contains 24.8. We can just round up to 25 times
Yeah.
more of these crucial bioactive compounds by mass. This is massive. So,
Yeah.
and we're using a whole 500 milligrams of this ginger extract. A lot of the studies are using 500 milligrams of ginger root.
So it's
maybe 1,000 milligrams, but
much
even then,
more potent.
we're getting way more of the blocking of the 5-HT3 receptors with the amount of gingerols and shogaols we have in here. And we can only really speculate about the implications of how much more potent this is. We don't have studies using such strong extracts, but we have some data preliminary that we would show a higher amount of gingerols coming up here would be more effective. So,
and some ginger root out there, like we talked about, showed an average of 0.8 gingerols and shogaols. It's anywhere from 0.5% to a full percent on average. So this product could be even 40 times as potent in those gingerols and shogaols.
Yeah, especially if the ginger is not produced in as good of conditions, worse climates.
Absolutely.
If it's just really mass-produced ginger, we could have some very low percentages there. So to know exactly how much is in there is huge.
Yeah, very rare, and that's why we chose this product. Continuing to talk about these other nausea mechanisms, we even have a direct comparison study of 6-gingerol to ondansetron, commonly known as Zofran. This 2019 study found 6-gingerol, one of the strongest bioactive ingredients in ginger extract, to be equally as effective to ondansetron in the rat model of nausea.
Yeah, and to clarify, the 6-gingerol in this study is dosed much higher by mass compared to the ondansetron. But the point of the study was to determine that if you match the potency wise, you're taking more 6-gingerol, but you can still replicate the effects of the medication. So the medication is really potent by mass, but basically, we have so much gingerols in this extract that we're hoping to kind of mimic what they're doing in this preliminary research. And again, this is in animals, in rats, but it's just very promising to see that this is just one of the components of ginger as well. This is not the full spectrum of components.
Yep. Although this blockade at the 5-HT3 receptors is thought to be the primary mechanism for ginger's effects, there is some preliminary research to suggest additional blockades at the muscarinic cholinergic M3 receptors.
Yeah, and medications to support stomach comfort on the market often work through this anticholinergic pathway, blocking these receptors as well. So it's exciting to see that ginger may also be tapping into this pathway. And this means ginger may be working through more than one mechanism beyond those 5-HT3 receptor blocking effects when improving the stomach comfort.
Let's also discuss the research on ginger's stress-relieving properties, not just the anti-nausea. A 2021 research paper diving into ginger's cognitive health applications also notes data from preliminary studies describing reductions in what they refer to as anxiety-like behavior. In simple terms, what this is saying is ginger may also contribute to the calming effect on the mind. And so that's why part of the reason we put it into our pre-trip product is really to hit both sides there, right? Calming of the mind and that calming of the stomach too.
Yeah, exactly. And some of ginger's effects on the mind may be also through the blocking of the 5-HT3 receptors. So by blocking these 5-HT3 receptors, we also see some synergy with the mood elevating properties that you can see with some other psychedelics, or psychedelics in general, not other psychedelics. Ginger is not a psychedelic.
Yeah.
But due to increasing mood through this blocking of the 5-HT3 receptors, we might see some synergy as well with some of the antidepressant effects.
A 2021 research paper discusses the role of blocking this 5-HT3 receptor in supporting lower stress levels through models they call chronic unpredictable mild stress models.
Yeah, very wordy way
Yeah,
to basically
very wordy.
say that they're applying these stresses unpredictably to the animals. So, yeah, I guess in a sense you could say that some of the stress in a psychedelic experience is unpredictable. It's something you're not used to. So it's, while this is an animal model, it is still showing that, it might have some application in, these stressful scenarios.
And some of these things we're talking about here too, like the unpredictable mild stress model, this is mimicking what we go through on an everyday basis as well. And so this is part of the reason that some people recommend taking ginger every day. Beyond just our capsules here, just in general, consuming a good ginger powder or the whole ginger fruit in general, a ginger root, excuse me, in general, is a really healthy thing to do anyways, because it may help with some of these things we're talking about.
Yeah, and as discussed in a 2011 research article, ginger has also been researched to benefit cognitive health. So they've actually gone through human studies using
Hmm.
ginger, and this is a daily dosing. So whether the acute effects of a one-time dose of ginger would be replicated, hard to say, but we do know with daily dosing of ginger, there's some cognitive benefits. Multiple possible mechanisms here for why that's happening. A lot of the researchers were thinking inflammation lowering, inflammation regulating, lowering oxidation. So this antioxidant sort of mechanism
Hmm.
that ginger is working through. It's a very strong anti-inflammatory. A lot of people will take ginger for pain. We know
Yeah.
it kind of as an anti-inflammatory in that regards. So that might be one of the things it's doing to benefit cognitive health. But there's some interesting benefits as well through just that 5-HT3 blockade and a lot of other unknown effects from ginger.
Which there will be a lot more research done on ginger in general, right? We're seeing that this is a pretty potent medicine that's been used for a long time, right? In Eastern medicine, you see it in naturopathic work, Chinese medicine as
Mhm.
well, and and so it will continue to be researched on the Western side too, and we'll break down any findings that we get down the line.
Yeah.
Pre-trip is targeted to improve as many aspects of the psychedelic experience as possible. And the improved mental clarity, right, that may come with ginger is an added benefit from the ginger extract in terms of possibly retaining more memory from the trip.
Yeah.
And so this is something sometimes when people are finished with it, they don't remember all of the experience. Very normal, very much okay, right? Sometimes we go through things that maybe we're not supposed to remember, that the subconscious is working through. But taking this may help with some memory there as well. Again, this is our product here. You can go to our website to purchase this. So, thank you for joining us today in exploring the many different aspects of ginger in the context of the psychedelic experience and ways that can help.
Mhm.
Let us know in the comments what else you would like to be discussed and if there are any things that you take before your experience to help with nausea.
Yeah. And as always, elevate your trip.